Hello, Governor. This is Rick Steed here to talk to you about Doctor Who, Season 10, Episode 8, The Lie of the Land. But first, let me tell you a little story. The funny thing is, I remember, like it was yesterday, when all of my kids were born. And by no means do any of them hold any weight over any of the other ones. But I'm going to talk about my oldest son because he was my first. I remember like it was yesterday him being born. And even though I loved my wife dearly and couldn't imagine being away from her, when I first laid eyes on that little boy, it's like time stopped. At that time, I could not imagine loving anything more than him. Because the one thing I knew was that as much as you love your partner, a marriage may not be permanent. You want it to be, that's the goal, but it may not be. But this little man, he belonged to me forever. And he was going to get my whole heart. And it's funny because, as you have more kids, you figure out, how can you divide these sections of your heart to give them to more than one person? My mom had a sliver of my heart. My brother and his family had a sliver of my heart. My wife at the time had a part of my heart. But my kids, whatever is left, they got the whole thing. And the beauty of this particular episode of Doctor Who is, I just think about that one incorruptible thought about who you love. And it's someone like you. Hello, Governor. This is Rick Steed, new from the Ville, and we're here to talk about Doctor Who, Season 10, Episode 8, The Lie of the Land. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you know how I normally do this. I do my intro, I do a short story, I do a recap, personal quotes, personal thoughts, and then we're out. I'm going to try to keep this recap as short as possible. Now, this particular episode is part 3 of the Monks trilogy. And we first met these alien zombie-looking monks in episode 6 in Extremis. And it carried over into pyramids at the end of the earth. And now this is the finale of the trilogy. Bill gave the monks consent. They now rule the earth. And Bill wakes up and finds that everything has changed. It's almost like a police state where everything is pretty dreary, like morale everywhere is low. And we find that the monks also fooled with history. So for every important invention, the monks were there helping us discover it. They helped build everything. Everywhere you look up, whatever we have on this planet is because of the monks. Problem is that Bill knows that none of this is true. She's one of the few people that can see through this memory crime, because it's what it was. All of our memories have been hijacked, stolen. And now it's only been 6 months and everything is dreary. It's bad. Out on the streets, you see people getting killed because I guess they broke through the subjugation of their minds. It broke through, but that's one thing the monks can't put up with. We can't have any hints of rebellion. They put it down immediately. Now, the doctor's been missing for 6 months. Bill knows the doctor's real, knows he's out there, but doesn't know what happened to him at the end of the last episode. So in order to cope, Bill starts having these conversations with her dead mother. And in her mind, she can see her like sitting across the table from her, and she has full-on conversations with her. And everything is based on the picture that the doctor gave her. Because remember, until that, she didn't have any pictures of her mother. She didn't have any real recollection of her mother. Now remember, because Nardole is part cyborg, he survived when he got sick by the bacteria. He survived that. And he came and found Bill. And he's trying to figure out, what the hell's going on? You talking to your mama? For real, girl? They set out to find the doctor, and they find him on a ship, kind of a prison ship that's out in the middle of the water somewhere, out in the middle of the ocean, the bay, something. Now it appears that the doctor is cooperating with the monks because it's easier that way. He'll be able to save more lives by cooperating with them instead of outright rebellion, which seems the doctor's MO. It seems like that's what he does, just rebel. Hell no, this ain't right. But for whatever reason, he's going along with it. We come to find out that he's testing Bill. She passed the test to make sure she's not really under the influence of the monks, and that she's not going to run back and tell them. Now, once they make it back to the university, and there's monks everywhere, like spies, they go into the vault to talk to Missy. Missy said, yeah, I know these monks. They maintain control by broadcasting a signal out. So in order for everyone to stay connected to the memory crime, they broadcast a signal out. And the doctor then realized, yeah, like the next day they built these pyramids and built temples, built statues all over the world. Because they were so confused that why are they rewriting history? If we gave them consent to just take over, why don't they just take over? Why are they rewriting our history? And they bring up the point that most people are less likely to rebel if they think this is just the way it's always been. It's the way it is, so, you got to roll with it. They figure out that one of the main temples or something is in London, and they go to this main temple, they break in, and what they're going to do is they're going to establish their own psychic link to give everyone their memories back so that they fight back. Missy said the way that she dealt with it when she dealt with the people before as well, whoever it was that gave consent, revoked the consent, which meant kill Bill. And not the Uma Thurman Quentin Tarantino movie. Missy wanted to kill Bill because they're like, all right, well, if the person who gave him consent no longer gives consent, she's out of here, then we should be able to defeat him. The doctor said, absolutely not. So they go find a monk who's locked in, jacked into the system, who's pushing out all these images psychically to people all over the world. The doctor connects in, and the doctor's still, not really his full self, but, maybe he is. But the thing is, the monk starts to take over the doctor. And the doctor's like, well, I'm Gallifreyan, I'm a little bit, I'm not as fragile as you humans, so, but it doesn't work. So Bill says, no, I'm going to jack in. I gave consent. This is my fault. It's my problem. I did this, so I'm going to jack in. The doctor says, absolutely not. You're human. You will break immediately. But a strange thing happens. When it starts going into the recesses of Bill's mind, they see the pictures of her mother and the conversations and things that she had had with her mother. The thing was, none of that was real. So now they are 100% pushing a lie to the people that's based on a lie. It's not based in truth. And that helps everyone in the world break the conditioning of these memory crimes. So humanity recovers, they rebel immediately. The monks agree to leave the earth, and the next day or what have you, no one has any memory of the monks ever being there. The episode ends with Missy going back to the vault and the doctor talking to her, and Missy talking about she actually has remorse for all the people that she's killed, which it's Missy / the master. Do you believe that? You know that I love my quotes, and I have two. The first one, I don't know who said it, but they said, wanting love from someone who doesn't want to love you will destroy you. And the second quote from Rupi Kaur is a little bit more in line with the story I told in the beginning about my son. You might not have been my first love, but you were the love that made all my other loves irrelevant. And I'm going to call today's media therapy deep dive Someone Like You. What could be more pure than thinking about your child or your parents? That is what freed the curse of the memory crime of this episode. Bill thinking about her mother, thinking about the conversation they had. But what's crazy is that she had never met her mother, not once. She saw a picture of her mother and fabricated this entire backstory in her mind. Which is more than some of us do for people that we actually see each and every day. You know, incorruptible means not able to be persuaded to do something that is wrong or dishonest, even if somebody offers you money. So why is that important? The reason that Bill was able to break this curse of a memory crime was because the thought about her mother, what she had created in her mind, was incorruptible. She held on to it. She held it dear. My kids are growing up, and the more that I think about them, the more those are incorruptible thoughts to me. I love my kids about more than life and would do absolutely anything within reason for them. You know, you look at an episode like this, it's like if someone came to subjugate, enslave, oppress us as a people, stole our memories, what would be the one thing that would allow you to break through that conditioning and let you know, this is all fake, this is all bullshit? Bill had the thought of her mother. I would say for me, it would be my kids. It's hard though, because those memories of my kids are based in truth. Bill's memories of her mother are not based in truth. That was fabrication in her mind. What would it be like if she had conversations with her mom? If you're ever fortunate enough to find your person, and that's the thing, we think, you know, I have people that I know that found a person every week. And somehow within the next 6-7 days, couple months, you found out that that person not only not your person, but it's probably one of the worst people that you could ever pick to be with you. But in the moment, they didn't see it. We're funny like that. Our communication not open. We ask the questions that we want, not the questions that we should ask. You ask the questions you want, not the ones you need. You're enthralled, you're at lust with aesthetic features. I don't care that she's a horrible person, but you see that thing on her behind her thingin'. Really? You know, some of us are so good at making such good choices in our life. And when it comes to love, what love deals with more emotion than logic, whew, we make some poor choices. In this episode, we got into all of this because Bill loved the doctor and realized that the doctor was needed, not only by her, but the earth. So she consented. She made a deal with the devil. She made a deal with these alien zombie monks. And they took over all of Earth. And the thing is, if you're Bill, can you even forgive yourself? You know how many people have died in the 6 months since it happened, rebellion, people that just refuse to be subjugated, were killed because Bill chose to save one man. But that love was incorruptible. And it's hard sometimes when you do a terrible thing for the right reason. Now, if you're lucky, you'll never be confronted with that. That'll never be a choice that you have to make, if you're lucky. Some of us are not that lucky. And you have to choose. And it can lead to some of the worst decisions, the worst choices that you've ever made. But sometimes it's absolutely necessary. You know, as a trilogy, this Monk's trilogy, this was a decent conclusion to the trilogy. It seemed rushed, very Matrix-y at heart, this whole 3-episode arc. The best of the 3 is absolutely Extremist, the first one, episode 6. It's the best one. And it could have went a lot of places. I had a problem because all 3 episodes had a different writer. So it's hard to have a cohesive story. You have 3 different people writing a story. I think it might have been 3 different people directing a story. My last quote, and then I'm out of here. And I know I said I was only going to give those 2, but my last quote is, it's funny. In all of this, what you need to realize is maybe you don't need the whole world to love you. Maybe you just need one person. Some of us are at a point where you don't even really know if you're going to ever find love again, and definitely if you're going to find that person, the person. But what I can suggest is to start off by you loving you. Start there. Because if you love you, like for real, not just something that you say, if you love you, everything else will fall into place. This is Rakai Steed, new from the Ville. Make sure to like this. Share this as much as possible. And leave me some comments. What did you think about this episode? What did you think about the trilogy? What did you think about someone like you being able to love you, being able to hold on to those incorruptible thoughts? And for whatever reason you didn't subscribe, I get it. But please, hit the button, subscribe, watch the other videos. You might find something that resonates with you. Remember, every video, I use this, but it's even more important to use this.